Hello students. Today we will review the unit number 5 and 6 based upon MCQs. So what type of MCQs can be asked from unit number 5 and 6 that we'll discuss today. So I am going to discuss some of the questions which many of you have seen in the previous year question papers. We have done with the syllabus is completed now next is the MCQ practice. Why? Because your end-term evaluation is MCQ. So the first question is, you have given that integration of f dot n ds is 0. Then you are asked that what kind of this function f is, what is the nature of this vector field f is it rotational, irrotational, solenoidal, both solenoidal and irrotational, or none of these. So whenever you have a surface integral, so we know that surface integral has a relationship with the volume integral by using Gauss divergence theorem. And solenoidal vector field and irrotational vector field can be tested with the help of divergence and curl. Solenoidal will be tested with the help of divergence. If the divergence of field is 0, then it is solenoidal. If the curl of a field is 0, then it is irrotational. And we know that the flux has a relation with the divergence only, so we will use the Gauss divergence theorem to convert it into divergence. So by using Gauss divergence theorem, f dot n ds is equal to triple integral of divergence of f into dv. Now if left hand side is 0, it is given to us that f dot n ds is 0. If left hand side is 0, that means right hand side is 0. So sum of divergence will be 0 if divergence is 0. It is the sum of divergence over the volume. So sum will be 0 if each element is 0, if divergence is 0. If divergence is 0, then vector is solenoidal. So option B is the correct option. So this vector field is a solenoidal field. Let us see the next question. In the next question, you have given this x dx plus y dy plus z dz. You are asked to calculate the value of this over the surface bounded by this curve. Over the surface bounded by this curve. So first of all, convert it into, as we have to use Stokes theorem, to Stokes theorem, what is the vector form of Stokes theorem? F dot dr is equal to curl f dot n ds. It is the vector form of Stokes theorem. So let us convert it into vector form. So we can convert this scalar form into vector form by using dot product. It is nothing but the dot product of xi, yj, zj dot dxi, dyj, dzk. And this vector is nothing but r vector, position vector of any arbitrary point on the curve. So value of r will always be xi, yj, zk. So we can replace this with r, and this is nothing but the derivative of this. It is dr. That means you have given r dot dr over the closed curve C. Now by using Stokes theorem, r dot dr become what? Curl r dot n ds. And keep in your mind that curl of r will always be 0 and divergence of r is 3. So when you calculate the curl of r, it will always be 0. When you calculate the divergence of r, it is 3. You can calculate and you can check it. So I substitute this value here, 0. So this become what? 0. Sum of 0 is 0. So answer is 0. So option A is the correct option. Now let us go for the next one, third one. Again you have given a line integral and you are asked to use the Green's theorem. Green's theorem is not but the Stokes theorem in 2D. Here you have z. If z is not there, then you can use Green's theorem. So what is Green's theorem? F dot ds plus g dy is equal to curly g by curly x, its derivative with respect to x, and its derivative with respect to y, difference dx dy. F dot dx plus g dy is equal to curly g by curly x minus curly f by curly y. G is what? The coefficient of dy. F is what? The coefficient of dx. So you can apply the Green's theorem if you have a simple smooth or piecewise smooth closed curve. So it is the boundary of rectangle. If you plot this like x is equal to 0 is this, x is equal to 0 is this line, x is equal to 1 is this line, y is equal to 0 is this line, y is equal to 1 is this line, you will get what? A rectangle. So rectangle is, we know that it is piecewise smooth, in pieces it is smooth, and it is closed also, and it is not intersecting itself, so it is simple also. So we can apply the Green's theorem. So x dx y dy can be written as derivative of y with respect to x and derivative of x with respect to y, difference. So derivative of y with respect to x, partial derivative is 0, partial derivative of x with respect to y is 0. So what we will get? 0 minus 0 is 0. So option C is the correct option. Let us go for the next. He is asking for the mathematical expression for the Stokes theorem. So what is Stokes theorem? Which converts the line integral into a surface integral. So f dot dr is curl f dot n ds. So B option is the correct option. Next is this question. Here you are asked to calculate curl v dot n ds, where v is this and surface S is this. And it is upside the z positive. So it is nothing but a paraboloid, one side linear, other side square. It is a paraboloid. If you put this is equal to 0, z is equal to 0, it is z is equal to 0, and x square plus y square is equal to 1 is the base, and z is increasing in the upward direction. So it is the given surface bounded by the curve C. So now by using Stokes theorem, curl v dot n ds is equal to v dot dr. Why? Because the given surface S is smooth and it is bounded by a simple smooth closed curve. It is also identified, it has outer side and inner side. We can apply the Green's theorem. So curl v dot n ds is equal to v dot dr. This surface is like paraboloid, this surface is like ellipse, or surfaces like semicircle, hemisphere, or the surfaces like which are smooth and orientable. You can use for those this theorem. So here the value of v is this and the value of dr is this. So it become what? V dot dr z dy x dz. So in Stokes theorem, C is what? The bounding curve, this curve. What is the equation of this curve? X square plus y square is equal to 1 and z is equal to 0. So substitute z 0 here and dz 0 here. So we left with y dx. So we know that the area of region R can be calculated with the help of minus y dx. This we have discussed in the previous lecture. The area of region is x dy or minus y dx. You can use both the formulas. There is one more formula, that is x dy minus y dx divided by 2. So I have converted this y dx into minus y dx by multiplying with minus inside and outside. It is nothing but the area of the region R. So it is pi r square. Answer is minus pi. A option is the correct option. Otherwise, if you don't want to use the direct formula, you can use the parametric form of the circle, that is x is equal to r cos theta, y is equal to r sin theta. R is nothing but y. Why? Because we have to be on boundary, so r is nothing but 1. So you can use cos theta and sin theta. X is cos theta, y is sin theta, and you can integrate over the limit 0 to 2 pi, you will get the same answer. But better is to convert it into, to avoid the calculation, as it is an MCQ. So we have to save our time. So Green's theorem is a special case of, I already discussed, it is a special case of Stokes, and it is also a special case of, but in all the books you can say it is a special case of Stokes theorem. Stokes theorem is a special case of Stokes. Green's theorem is a special case of Stokes theorem, but also a special case of 2D divergence. A and B both are correct, but most generally we use Stokes theorem. It's the most generalized version of Green's theorem. So we use this as the most appropriate answer. Stokes theorem is the extension of Green's theorem, or Green's theorem is a special case of Stokes theorem. So the next, what is asked, Gauss divergence theorem. What is the statement of Gauss theorem? Gauss divergence theorem connects surface with volume. So surface, this is surface. Flux over the surface S is equal to sum of the divergence over the field V. Flux per unit volume is divergence. So if we take the integral of divergence over the volume V, so we will get the total flux. So C is the correct option. Surface volume Gauss divergence, or line surface Stokes or Green. Now here you are asked to calculate the work done by the force this along 0, 0, 0 and 2, 1, 3. Work done in moving a particle by force this along 0, 0, 0 and 2, 1, 3 you have to calculate. We know that what is the formula of work done? Force into displacement. Here force given to us is A and displacement is dr. Now what is A? It is 3x square yj zk, and what is dr? Dr is dx dy dz. So it becomes what? 3x. So whenever there is a dot product, I component gets multiplied with I, j with j, k with k, so we will get what? 3x square into dx minus y into dy, z into dz. Now if you observe that what was the condition for line integral is independent of the path of integration, where we need not to convert it into parametric form. We can avoid the parametric form if the derivative of this with respect to y and with respect to z is 0, derivative of y with respect to x, derivative coefficient of dy with respect to x and z is 0, and derivative of coefficient of dz with respect to x and y is 0. That means if you are having a situation that with the dx you have only the terms of x, with the dy you have only the terms of y, with dz you have only the terms of z, so you can consider that integral is independent of path of integration. You can directly integrate. So it is x cube by 3, it is y square by 2, it is z square by 2. So x varies from 0 to 2, y varies from 0 to 1, z varies from 0 to 3. So substitute x2, y1, z3. So we get what? This 12 is the right answer. It is the right answer. Now next is Stokes theorem. It is a relationship between line and surface. Stokes theorem gives a relation between line and surface. So C is the right option. Next, here the value of divergence. You are asked to calculate the value of this divergence over the region bounded by the sphere this. So in divergence we are to differentiate I component with x, it is 0, j component with y, it is again 0, k component with z, it is again 0. There is no x, there is no y, there is no z. When there is no x, no y, no z, then divergence is 0. If it is only x, only y, only z, then curl is 0. Shortcut you can use this. If I contains only x, y contains only y, so j contains only y, coefficient of k contains only z, then its curl will be 0. And if I there is no x, if j there is no y, if k there is no z, then divergence is 0. So its divergence is 0. Calculate its partial derivative with respect to x is 0, there is no x. Its partial derivative with respect to y is 0, there is no y. Its partial derivative with respect to z is 0, there is no z. So it is 0. So answer is B. And the question number 11. Calculate its divergence. What is divergence? Its partial derivative with respect to x, its partial derivative with respect to y, its partial derivative with respect to z. What is its partial derivative with respect to x? 2. With respect to y it is minus 1. With respect to z it is minus 1. So 2 minus 1 is 0. So answer is B. So if f is any differentiable scalar point field, then value of curl of grade f. Curl of grade f is always 0. This you have to keep in mind. Whatever the value of f is, very long, lengthy, whatever the scalar function f is, the curl of grade f is always 0. And secondly, if f is a vector point field, then divergence of curl f is also 0 always. One thing you need to keep in mind also, curl of r is 0, divergence of r is 3. So here what is asked? Curl of gradient f. Curl of gradient f is always 0. He can give you different values of f there, but if it is curl of grade f, it will always 0. It is 0 for all the functions f. So here answer is 0. A is the correct option. Now next is you have the value of line integral x square y dx and x square dy, where C is the boundary of triangle bounded by these coordinates, and you are asked to use Green's theorem. So what is Green's theorem? As we already have discussed, you have to differentiate this with respect to x. What is the derivative of x square with respect to x? It is 2x. And what is the derivative of this with respect to y? It is x square dx dy. Now you have to integrate this over the given region. Given region is a triangle bounded by these vertices 0 0 1 0 1 1. So here x varies from 0 to 1 and y have a variable limit. Y varies from lower curve to upper curve 0 to x. Y ranges 0 to x and x ranges 0 to 1. 0 to 1 0 to x. So integrate this with respect to y. So as x is constant, there will be y only. So y limit is x minus 0. Multiply this inside. Again integrate this. X square integration is x cube by 3. X 4 by 4 is integration of x cube within the limit of 1 to 0. Substitute this 1 here. It is 2 by 3. It minus 1 by 3. Answer is 5 by 12. 5 by 12 is the correct option. Next is question number 14. Again the value of line integral f dx g dy. So here again we have to use the Green's theorem. Whenever you see that your curve C is a simple smooth closed curve or simple piecewise smooth closed curve, then you can use the Green's theorem. So here the lines are given x minus 1, it is x minus 1, x1, y minus 1, y1. So they forms a rectangle. So you can apply the Green's theorem. So how to apply that Green's theorem? Derivative of this with respect to x, it is 2x, and derivative of this with respect to y, it is only x. So 2x minus x will become what? Only x. So limits are x minus 1 to 1 and y minus 1 to 1. Left curve to right curve, lower curve to upper curve. As both the limits are constant, inside you can separate the integrals. It is x dx minus 1. It is an odd function. For odd function, if the limit is from negative to positive, that integral is 0. So 0 into something, answer is 0. So A option is the correct option. Next is you are asked to calculate volume integral of divergence f dv. So here it is 3xi 4yj 5zk. So if this field is given in Stokes theorem, then its curl will be 0, answer will be 0, but it is there given in divergence. So we have to calculate this divergence. Divergence of this is derivative of this with respect to x, derivative of this with respect to y, and derivative of this with respect to z. So before applying the theorem, here we can calculate directly, but otherwise volume integral has a equality relationship with the flux surface integral. So if your surface is simple, smooth, closed and bounded, then you can apply closed and bounded by a simple, smooth or piecewise smooth surfaces. Then you can use this. And the field f is a polynomial field which is continuous and should have first order continuous derivative. Then you can apply the Gauss divergence. Before applying the Gauss divergence, first of all you have to check the prior conditions. So here field f is given to you is this: its derivative with respect to x, its derivative with respect to y, and its derivative with respect to z will give you divergence. It is the definition of divergence. Divergence is derivative of I component with respect to x, derivative of j component with respect to y, and derivative of k component with respect to z. It is 3 plus 4, its derivative is 3, its derivative is 4, its derivative is 5, it is 12. So divergence become what? 12. So we can take the 12 out. So inside it is volume integral of dv, and volume integral of dv is nothing but the volume. Triple integral of dv is volume. What is the volume of given surface? It is a sphere with radius 1. So volume sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube. It is 16 pi. So 16 pi is not there. So answer is none of these. Next is the value of x square z 3x dy y square z, where c is the curve bounded by x square plus y square is equal to 1 and z is equal to 0. If you have given only x square plus y square is equal to 1, that means you have to consider z is equal to 0 in the MCQ questions. So here put z0 here and put dz0 here, you will left with 3x dy. 3x dy, and we know that x dy is nothing but the area bounded by the region. So what is the area bounded by circle? It is pi r square. So answer is 3 pi a. Clear? X square, y square, z square, and that is 0, z0, dz0, 3x dy. Answer is 3 into x dy. X dy is the area bounded by the region R. It is 3 pi r. 3 pi. A is the correct option. Now next, question number 17. Again, you are asked to use Stokes theorem. X square dx, y square dy, z square dz. Now you can observe here, with x we have only x, with y you have only y, with z we have only z. This curl is going to be 0. This curl is 0. So we have to use the Stokes theorem. First of all, we have to write it into the, this is given to us. For using Stokes theorem, it is given to us. It is the boundary curve. So here we have to take z0, x0, y0, x plus y plus 1 is 1. So x square I plus y square j z square k, you can write this as a dot product of this vector and this vector, x square into dx, y square into dy, z square into dz. So here f is this, and which with I there is only x, with j there is only y, with k there is only z, so its curl is always 0. The vector field in which I contains only x, j contains only y, k contains only z, so its curl will be 0. Curl is 0. So if curl is 0, then f dot dr is 0, then this integral is 0. So answer is 0. Otherwise, if you want to put z0 and you can apply the Green's theorem, again you will get 0. Both way you can solve this. So answer is 0. D option is the correct option. Again it is a rectangle, 0 to 1, 0 to 1. You are asked to use Green's theorem. So with Green's theorem we have to differentiate this with respect to x and this with respect to y. So derivative of this with respect to x and this with respect to y will give 3 minus 2 dx dy, and dx dy is nothing but the area. What is the area of this rectangle? Length is 1, breadth is 1, it is 1 into 1 is 1. Answer is B. Its length is 1, 0 to 1 length is 1, 0 to 1 length is 1. So what is the area of rectangle? Length into breadth. So 1 into 1 is 1. Dx dy integration over the region R will give us the area of region. If that region is a non-region, so we can directly apply the formula, otherwise we have to calculate. Next is, which of the following is the correct definition of Green's theorem? Its derivative with respect to x should be at first place. No, it is not there. Its derivative with respect to x should be at first place. It is not there. Its derivative with respect to x should be at first place. Yes, it is there. And its derivative with respect to y should be at second place into minus sign. So C is the correct option. two options are correct. So only one option is available. This option is available. Now let us solve the next question. Question number 20. By using Stokes theorem, the value of the integral is, where c is x square plus y square is equal to 1. Again we have to use Stokes theorem to be we have to find its curl. But finding curl is not giving us anything good. Why? Because if dx is free, if dx contains only x, dy contains only y, dz contains only y, then the result will help us. Otherwise, here z is 0. Put z 0, left with 2x minus y, 2x, 2 into x dy minus y dx. So it is area of region, it is also area of region, twice the area of region. No, sorry, it is not the area of region, it is x square by 2 minus 1 to 1. It is 0, and it is area. So answer B is the correct answer. 2x dx minus y. If it is x dy, then it is area. It is x dx, we have to integrate this x square by 2. So in circle, the limit of x vary from minus 1 to 1. Substitute, yes. And it is area pi r square. This pi is the answer. Now next is question number 21. The partial differential equation obtained by eliminating the arbitrary constant a and b. This was there in your test also and your assignment also. So you have two arbitrary constants, you have to find two derivatives first. Partial derivative with respect to x is y minus b. Partial derivative of this with respect to y is x minus a. So substitute this at the place of y minus b, substitute this at the place of this. So now your equation becomes free from a and b. So this is z is equal to pq. First option is the correct option. So your basic task is to eliminate the arbitrary constant by using the derivatives, and the relationship between the variable and their derivative is the differential equation. Similarly, in the next question, question number 22, the partial differential equation, you are asked to classify the partial differential equation. What type of this differential equation is? So here you have uxx, x square uxy, uy is equal to 0, and you have to compare it with auxx, buxy, and cuyy. So coefficient of uxx is a, xy is b, and yy is c. So there is no yy, so it is c. So to classify, we have a formula b square minus 4ac. So b square is x4 minus 0. Even power is always positive, so its nature is hyperbolic. C is the correct option. If it's if you are getting result negative, then it is elliptic. If you are getting result equal to 0, then it is parabolic. This we know, that we already have discussed. Like here, if you take the heat equation, that is parabolic in nature. If you take the Laplace equation, that is elliptic in nature. If you take the wave equation, that is hyperbolic in nature. Single variable, double variable, y is equal to x square is parabola, x square plus y square is x square by a square, y square by b square is ellipse, x square by a square minus y square by b square is hyperbola. You can relate with this also. So the given question is, which of the following is Laplace equation? It is the Laplace equation. This is nothing but it is the Laplace equation. Single derivative with respect to t, heat equation. Double derivative with respect to t, wave equation. No derivative with respect to t, only x and y are there, Laplace. So Laplace equation is, we already have discussed, it is elliptic in nature. It is elliptic. You can see a is 1, b is 0, c 1. So b square minus 4ac will give you minus 4. Elliptic in nature. Next is Laplace equation is a special case of heat equation, two-dimensional heat equation. It is heat equation, single derivative in time, in two dimensions x and y. If I'll take d by curly t is equal to 0, we'll left with this. It is nothing but Laplace equation. So Laplace equation is a special case of two-dimensional heat equation. So which option is correct? Two-dimensional heat. D option is the correct option. The parametric equation of the curve x plus y plus z is equal to 8 and y minus z is equal to 0. So whenever you are asked to write the parametric equation, that means you have to convert every variable in terms of single parameter. So take z is equal to t. So we'll take z is equal to, we'll get y is equal to t. So put x, y t, z t both here. You will get what? X is 8 minus 2t. So it is the parametric form of the given equation. You can use any variable as t, or you can take the option and put it into the equations. Whichever is satisfying the equation, that is the correct option. You can use that also. Next is 27 question. The tangent vector to the curve whose parametric representation is x is equal to cos t and y is equal to sin t, z is equal to t. So these are the parametric form of a given position vector. If given vector, so let us consider R be a position vector of any arbitrary point on the curve. So right here cos sin t, it is what? It is representing the given curve. It is the equation of given curve. Now we know that if we differentiate this, it will give us the direction of tangent. Differentiate this, it will give us minus sine cos 1. So which option is correct? Cos minus cos plus sine, and this B option is the correct option. Derivative of position vector will give us derivative of position vector will give us the direction of tangent, and derivative of gradient of surface will give us the normal, direction of normal. No, the question number 28. You are asked to differentiate this. So to differentiate this, we have to just retain the order. So first function as it is, derivative second with respect to t, there is no t, only t is there, it is I only, plus second function as it is, and derivative first with respect to t minus sin t 2t. Combine the coefficient containing I is what? Cos t plus t square, and it is t sin t and 2t square. 2t square plus t square is 3t square. Cos t minus t sin t is I component. J and k will be the same, 2t minus sin t. So which option is correct? D option is the correct option. Next, you are asked to calculate the length of this curve. So what is the formula of length of curve? Differentiate this and take the magnitude, thereafter integrate. It is the formula for length of the curve. So what is the derivative of this? It is minus sine, it is cos, it is 1. So take its magnitude. I component square, j component square, and k component square. 1 plus 1 is 2, it is square root 0 to 2 pi dt. So take the square root 2 pi minus 0, it is 2 square root 2 pi, pi is the answer. So answer is 2 square root 2 pi. This one B is the option. Calculate the speed. How to calculate speed? If we differentiate R position vector of a position vector, if we differentiate position vector, we will get velocity and magnitude of velocity speed. It is a position vector, we differentiated 3t square 1 2t, and we took its magnitude, it is its square. 3t square is 9t power 4, it is 1, it is 4t square. So square root of this is speed, magnitude of velocity speed. So which option is correct? A option is correct. Otherwise, whenever we are to take the magnitude, all the terms should be in plus sign. There is all these three terms containing negative sign. So A is the right option. Speed is the magnitude of velocity, so you can directly apply it without calculating this. 31. Normal vector to the given curve. How to calculate normal? By calculating gradient. How to calculate tangent? By taking the derivative of position vector. So here calculate gradient, its derivative with respect to x 2x, its derivative with respect to y is 2y. It is 2xi plus 2yj. Substitute the points x3 and y4. x3 and y4, you get 3 into 2 6, 4 into 2 8, 6i plus 8j. So it is the correct option. C is the correct option. Next, what is the formula of unit normal vector? We know that del f will give us normal, and if you divide it this with its magnitude, it will give us unit normal. So del f divided by its unit normal. Del f we also call gradient of f. Gradient f formula is del f. So gradient f divided by magnitude of gradient, it is the unit normal vector. A is the correct option. Similarly, what is the formula to calculate the angle between two surfaces? We know that the angle between two surfaces are same as that of angle between their normals. How to calculate normal to the surface? By calculating gradient. Del f1, del f2 and the normal to the surface, and if you have to calculate the angle between their normals, so it is del f1 dot del f2 divided by del f1 magnitude, del f2 magnitude, and a dot b divided by a magnitude, b magnitude. So a is the correct option. If you are asked to calculate the angle between the surfaces, we always use the angle between their normals are same as that of angle between the surfaces. If you are asked to calculate the angle between the curves, then we will calculate the angle between their tangent vectors. Now directional derivative. How to calculate the directional derivative? This is the formula of directional derivative. To calculate directional derivative, we have to calculate the gradient of given scalar point function at the given point, and we have to give its dot product with the direction. So calculate the directional derivative of this in the direction of this. So how to calculate direction? b1 minus b2i, b1 minus a1i, b2 minus a2j, b3 minus a3k. So this will give us what? 1 minus 1 0, minus 1 minus 2 minus 3, minus 3 minus 3 minus 6. It is the direction. So it will be b. So we have to calculate b cap. So b cap is the vector divided by its magnitude. It is minus j minus 2k square root j. So x, y, z calculates gradient. It is its derivative with respect to x is yz, its derivative with respect to y is xz, its derivative with respect to z is xy. So right here and substitute the point x1, y4, z3, you will get this. Now we have the value of del f, we have b cap, give dot product. So after giving the dot product, we get what? Minus 11 by 12 into 0 is 0, 3 into minus 1 is minus 3, 4 into minus 2 is minus 8. So it is the answer, 11 by square root 5, which is what? Nothing but B option is the correct option. B option is the correct option. Let us go for the next one. I already explained you that divergence of R is 3, and here we have calculated also its derivative with respect to x, its derivative with respect to y, its derivative with respect to z. 1 plus 1 plus 1 3. The divergence of R is 3 and kernel of R is 0. If the divergence of vector field F is 0, if divergence is 0, then the field is said to be a solenoidal, and if it is representing the velocity of a fluid in a medium, then we said the fluid is incompressible. So if divergence is 0, it is related to the term solenoidal and incompressible fluids. So here B is the correct option. Now the next question is question number 37. Question number 37 is calculate curl. So it is nothing but R. So curl of R is 0. We already have discussed here. We also have calculated. So I derivative of z with respect to y is 0. Derivative of y with respect to z is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. J is derivative minus s derivative 0 minus 0 is 0. K derivative y with respect to 0, derivative x with respect to y is 0, again 0. So it is R vector. Xi, yj, zk is R vector. The curl of R is 0, divergence of R is 3. And I already have explained that whatever the field is given to you, divergence of curl is always 0. Divergence of curl is always 0. Divergence of curl is always 0. So 0 is the correct option, 0 is A is the correct option. Again it is R. and you are asked to calculate divergence A dot R. So we have a formula for this. What is that formula? If you have to calculate divergence of cross product of two vectors, it is B dot curl A minus A dot curl B. So what is B? R dot curl A minus A dot curl R. A is a constant vector, its curl is 0, and it is R vector curl is also 0, 0 minus 0 is 0, so B is the correct option. So in this way you can solve other questions also. So I'm also giving you some questions to practice, questions for your practice. I have given this sheet, so I will upload these sheets. You have to practice these questions, and if you are getting any doubt, you have to ask me your doubts. So thank you very much. So we'll meet in next lecture.